Also, please don't forget to use Slido because that's how you can ask questions from our presenters today, who will be none other than Dmitry Razorionov and Nikolai Chesalin from Epam. Dmitry is a technology, solutions, and delivery management consultant with proven track record in advisory and transformation of enterprise operation models and delivery, while Nikolai is a tech professional who has worked in the high-tech industry for a decade. Currently, he is focusing on defining and launching the right products in EPAM and outside. And the title of their presentation is Skills, How AI ML Shapes EPAM into the Adaptive Enterprise. Please welcome them with a huge round of applause on our stage. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hello,
Peter.
everyone. We're happy to be here today, and we want to share with you some insights how we shape Epam in the adaptive enterprise. But first of all, let me introduce my colleague and friend, Dmitry Razorionov, who is a delivery management C-suite consultant with years of experience, and he also owner of a number of products that we have in the ecosystem of our company. But he is still passionate in technology and keep hands-on architecture skills and many other technology skills. Dmitry?
Kolis, thank you very much. And hi, audience. So miss Budapest. So miss Budapest, but the travel did not allow me to be in person this time. But still, there was a period when every quarter for a week or two, I was in the corner plaza, enjoying the food, enjoying palinka, obviously, although I'm not sure I can take this on the stage, but this is a craftsmanship and we sometimes need some boosters on the productivity. My friend Nikolai from California, he is a designer from the capital D, thinking of how the experience merged with the data can shape the better universe, if you will. So today, the next slide, please. We address and give you a little bit of insights what we built in as a platform, as an ecosystem within the company. And there's a couple of reasons like why skills. One, there was an absolutely unfair treatment of skills in IT sector for years, for decades. There was just a tag. If you would open up the courses, it's still a little bit of a text that says you will learn this or that. If you open up your LinkedIn profiles and etc., it's a list, although they are working hard to convert this to something else. If you take a look at the enterprises, if you take a look at the startups, that's just mainly words that's applied for when you do a CV preparation, when you do jumps between the programs, when you're hunting for something to learn, but it's never really anything beyond this one. But it's not true, because the essence of the enterprise is that you have a lot of entities like your jobs, your courses, your countries that you can go and travel with the nomad visas, your capabilities that you developed, connected by two things. One, super important, that's you. But you as the container of what? Your capabilities through the skills. So we decided to convert this one into the language, to convert it into the metaverse, if you will. I'll use the modern craft world term NFT, that always with you. It's mutable by your side, but it's never ever something that detached. So look at this like a soul band NFT that is granted by you at first. You develop this one, and then the organization or the another people who train your discipline. All of this were fit into the idea to provoke organization at the scale of 40,000 people to think differently about the subject. So what's quickly I'll review what we've done so far, and then we dig down into the meat, the bones, the ML models with Nikolai, right? First, we did a change management. It's a boring word, but we really added a brand and coolness of skills in the company. One of Hungarian guys built up the nicely looking graph, which visually attractive. We call this skill skill objects, skill ontology, skill optimization, wherever the O can be. And we started to show the power of those small dots, which can be a Java language or React or Go or an NFT or the upstream, downstream from the oil and gas industry, or your academical disciplines in the capital science, or something as a connected graph, just to wow the organization to even look at the complexity of the knowledge that it possesses. Second, we converted every single entity into an object with its whole life span. It born when you join the company, your skill entity. It grows when you develop it through the programs, through the work, through the studies, through communities, through going to the conferences like this. It has a building blocks to be combined with another to shape up your capabilities to, let's say, craft some new software or hardware, or mix and match, or work with people, or present on the conference. And then it powered by a lot of machine learned algorithms. Sometimes they're super smart, sometimes they're a little bit silly. And today's will be the discussion, like what's deeper than that we built. The player market who think about this fund is almost every big names, product companies, service companies. Everybody starts really serious treatment of the world of skills, skill-based career, skill-based human technology, skill-based learning management system, skills-based productivity system, which develops your ability to cope with remote, with time, with mobility, and at the same produce a great artifacts. The money market is huge as well. It's billions, right? So therefore, the attention, the market is like a reflection of the importance of the subjects, led us to think, okay, maybe, in the next slide, maybe we can use something that is on the markets, that is available over there, that for large corporations, which Epam may seem from the side, is an obvious choice. Why to build? Why to invest? But at the same time, we change, and the situation around us doesn't make it easier to be straightforward, and pre-planned for years to come, that the speed of change is way faster than any product can cope. The lack of capabilities to be integrated was a pain point for us day one as a company. Therefore, we are known or unknown, but let me share that we have almost every single process automated by ourselves. We engineer ourselves at first. Skills is no difference. The provider that you can change is not the foundation that you like to keep, and skills are foundation. We are working with smart people. We quantify them, we tokenize, if you will, them, if we speak about a little bit nerdy and digital, with the language of skills. Why to outsource the most powerful capability of the organization? That's never the strategy that is for win. And then we actually have everything. We will have everything within the company to really operate this at massive scale. We do have strategic support because the company, the leadership is sponsoring the development and the organization of the platforms around the skills and the AI ML models for real. We do have a huge pipeline of people where we can get the first-hand benefit, almost like a B2C world, when if we did something silly, stupid, there is enough people in the company and outside, like our applicants, that will tell that we are crazy. So we are using the product mindset, not the project mindset, that is done and period, eat this now. We also good at in implementing software. You'll see how much we coded in a smart way from Nikolai, and then it's a unique set of capability. And that's our roadmap, a little bit sneak peek trailer. That we build a foundation. Taxonomy took us actually quite some time. And if everybody say that this was boring, you will see the snippet of the tools that we created just to construct the language of skills, competencies, and the abilities. It's fascinating just to look, plus a cool technology of a graph databases behind the scenes. We are moving into the skill-centric design, When the system that develops our people brings them better career opportunities, internal mobilities, validation or development of the competencies, means reads better jobs, better, cooler programs, more interesting opportunities, is all empowered by this language and tokens of personal knowledge. And then we move to a completely different adaptive enterprise. And let me just pause for a second, what is adaptive? Because there is so much speculation around this world. The take from Epam side, the take from mean person as a Dima, is when you think you can forecast what's going on next, just take a look at the last couple of years. Who knew that we are living in a completely different world every single day? Who can forecast the massive impact of COVID? I'm not speaking about the other things. Let's leave it aside. Let's craft some software in this conference. And therefore, your jobs, your structures, your organizational principles, your roles, your focus of jobs, of hiring, staffing, or even coding can change like this in a matter of days. And the companies who can adapt in the minutes or weeks will win. But those who have to implement or re-implement 5,000 spreadsheets to just ask something different from an engineer will fail for sure. So to move there into this adaptive state, which use the power of technologies, which can be scaled to cope with the complexity of the world, will win. This is what we honestly believe for 28 years of the company, for all of these entire careers that we had with Nikolai and the rest of the guys, that this is something why we build the skills. Now, the fun part begins. This is the momentum where Nikolai takes the stage and show what exactly is going on under the hood. Flora?
Thanks, Dima. So I want to share with you some insights how we dig into the skills. As was said, we treat skill not as just a keyword of the tech. Skill is a quite complex object. And here I put some elements so you have an idea that it's important that skills obviously are up to date. We can measure the skills because different companies provide different learning opportunities, systems, and they all say we have skills. But how we can measure, how we can convert knowledge in JavaScript from one course to another. All these small details matter. Otherwise, it's pointless. I especially proud how we deal with alternative names, so-called synonymous. It's not exactly synonymous, but it's just one of dozens of unique features of our ecosystems of skills. And from other side, having unique measurable levels help us to treat not only skills, but all processes connected related to productivity management, learning in a data-driven way, which is a huge thing. Next, let's actually check what we have from architecture perspective. As you can see, we have a number of boxes here. Let me describe most important things and how they're all connected. We already mentioned that we build our appropriate graph of skills that we constantly extend with the help of data products, AI-driven data products that help us to enrich our graph. And we have obviously a management system of things. And we solve typical use cases like missing skills, similarity skills. It all goes through our ML data products. Important thing, and I want to mention this specifically, that we are very serious regarding anything related to AI and key entities as a personal profile. So in the company, we work only with a responsible AI. So everything in helps, but not anyhow harm human. And here on the picture, as you can see, we have very important and interesting components like Skill Hunter, for example, where we grab all kind of information, process them, and then enrich information through the skill link that basically helps to connect all dots together. So we get information, let's say, from the CV, extract CVs, process them, add to our knowledge graph, and then reuse in all our ecosystem of products.
And Nikolai, if we can step in for a second and we go back to one slide, let me just give an advice for those who are listening. I hope you guys over there, right? It's a little bit like I miss the audience. I don't see you, but I believe you're watching us. So one small, big advice. We use the NLU. You will see it in a slide. We definitely would like to crack on how to interpret the human language. And we try to pre-build our own models, which we somewhat succeed. But the small advice for this conference, because you are likely a craftsman, you like to create something, don't bother to always build it yourself. Take a look around. There's so much money, passion, smart chaps invested into the MLs that process natural language that it's much easier to consume foreign services. There's so many services that don't even bother to try to be a little bit smarter than the corporations that put their 7, 8, 9 digits to develop. Sorry, back to you.
Thanks. And small illustration to give you an idea about the complexity in a small animation, how the skill link process information. Imagine that you go to some event like this conference and you're interested in a particular topic. And because we have our own events platform, for us it's easy to connect, but we connect not only with our own platforms, but third parties as well. And we basically know that you're interested in a particular set of skills, or you just work, and we can collect information regarding how much time you spend in digging in a specific type of skills. So you get an idea that it's not just a static thing. And the key thing here that we need in a really real time update your knowledge, your proficiency in each particular skills. And sometimes you're just interested in new things. And we help, in this case, to advise you some new materials, educational materials, conference materials, etc., etc. So this is a kind of a heart of our ecosystem of the skills. And a couple illustrations from other elements. As you can see here, we build our own Skilo MDM, where we store and manage all our skills. But it's not only machine thing. Even we have a number of automatic jobs that process and validate the health, the status of the skills, how do we have all appropriate connections, metadata, etc., etc. It's also about how we integrate humans in the process, because we have amazing specialists. We have SMEs in industries, in technologies, who validate new things, basic things, and then machines help us to enrich our knowledge around specific topics and areas, industries, technologies, management, and so on. And it's not always so pretty and beautiful. Part of the success of our ecosystem and our skills platform that we are constantly in a deep collaboration with our leaders and SMEs in all kind of formats, because there is no such thing like defined skills for media entertainment or any other industry. It's constantly evaluated, and we adjust our needs, but we also take a look what's going on in the market. It's a very, very powerful thing how we communicate with our specialists and return these insights back to our ecosystem. And another piece of our architecture, you're already familiar a little bit, I hope, about our skill link from that animation, how we deal with new CVs. how we can identify what people knows. The purpose here is not to tell the machine, hey, choose who is good or who is not. Machine help us to understand and speed up understanding who you are. So our candidate will not wait for long to talk with our staffing people. So I believe this illustration will help you to give an idea. We have a CV, we process this CV, and already machine help us provide kind of a suggestions. What kind of things might be interesting for this candidate, or what kind of new projects or new opportunities could be interested for this person? And it's not only about getting a new job. Imagine the use case. New person just joined the company. He or she knows nobody. But through the process of the CV, identifying skills, interests, we can instantly, and we do this, recommend networks related to this person's interests. It's fascinating. It's amazing how people connect with each other so quickly with the help of these type of things. But we have more. Back to you, Dima.
Yeah, thanks. And I think that's getting back to our architecture, how we call it. This combination of the event-driven, by the way, it's cloud native, it's scalable because events are like, it's tons of events surrounding the enterprise and the foreign world. Imagine yourself not just taking a look like what's happening within Epam, but imagining that we do own and host conferences where the click-through of the people is just public, where we ask consent and know that people were interested in this particular tag. So the scale of this operation is pretty massive. So we had to build a system that set for performance and set for scale. We benefit from this one, from graph design, from the thinking of that everything is an object, and the unification of the object is the key, in a completely unexpectedly planned or plannedly unexpected way. The companies, and if you're fascinated with the teal model and the organization when there are no hierarchy, which I personally would challenge that they do exist, or there's some marketing, but still everybody in the earth does not really value the structures, but value the help, value the outputs of the teamwork, the peers you can rely on, friends or not, the professionals with the masteries that can help you to shape out something new, to cross something new, right? Imagine startup. Imagine your project team, imagine your product team, imagine you're just hanging around and defining something better for the future. You have this informal structure that really drives the value. It's not who is assigned by whom in this particular, it's not who reports to whom. That's more of a governance. Has to happen for a particular reason, but it's not what drives value. So the point I'm making is we introduced this non-linear way to see competencies. And in parallel, our organization decided to build and design a non-linear value creation structures within organization that is supported by one thing, competency and a mastery. If you join the company and this model that is pretty objective, say that you've been selected as a candidate for an NFT or blockchain, or whatever, digital payments, or TMT, telecom, media, or whatever the knowledge you have. And you're passionate to create, I don't know, the new system for helping to fight with the diseases, or the biotech. In a large corporation, and especially in the world, you're very easy to get lost by the amount of guys who may just don't know you. In the company that we operate, in the world that would like to bring this mentality, your value should be instantly beeping on the taxonomy of the professional like yourself. You should become instantly like a part of this data cluster, if you will. And the signal that you produce is, hey, I'm there. Then this cluster should react through the same chain of the technical and logical events with you. Somebody needs to call you, or a system needs to assess that you're not a trickster, just put in the CV 1,000 lines of skills which are not valid. And if you're there, the next one is to instantly give you an opportunity. So combining all of this, the software piece, this mentality of the nonlinear structures, and the mentality and the logic, and the next slide, please, of the kind of the event-driven, if you will, always shifting nature of our people competences boosts the regular quote-unquote processes, such as interviews become more lean because we don't ask you the questions that you don't know, or we know from the data that you have a preference on here and there. We also work with the people in the way to digitalize their career paths. The next slide, please. Into something that we internally call the level up system, where everybody is free to see what's been suggested by us based by their events in their life that we know as the next step. If you like to program and do management, we recommend you deliver management track. If you prefer to design the systems, then we choose somewhere between the technology consultant and designers in the bigger world of design, not just visual, but thinking of the systems design, right? We also use the same approach of non-linear facts to boost your productivity. We created the piece that always with our devs. The next slide, please. It sits with you. It works like an Apple's screen time, analyzing your commits, analyzing if you share with information. Surely we care about the information piece, and that's a very major takeaway from the work that we're running. AI is a double-edged sword. It can be super beneficial. It can be super harmful. So responsible AI is the key element that we want you guys to take out of this one. It helps, but you need to apply a very serious, deliberate thinking what would be the negative impacts, especially when we deal with us, human. But we have all of this. Then we aggregate this one in what we call the delivery central, when we grab all the information in the shape of the railway station and say, okay, we have this team which could perform much faster in this program. And if we have the program that fits on the competency side, and people love to do so, why not to give them the opportunity? Why to just stick around to their formal careers or whatever by the department name or by the protocol names? Screw it. Let's just give the people the ability to choose, and then help to understand in the system that this is happening. So all of this, you see, we're a little bit like too excited, but all of this is real, tangible. There are software, there are hardware, there are processes that support this one. I'll just leave the word to Nikolai to outline like how much we built.
Thank you, Dima. And here we want to show you like key capabilities that we already built and enrich in our company. Obviously, we started with the data, and we spent quite a time finding our way to the skills graph, and we constantly evaluate this technology that we built in-house. Then we started with the foundational blocks, skilling, which is basically aggregation of all data signals. And after processing these data signals related to skills, connecting them to the key entities, human, project, program, etc. And a little bit smaller pieces, but essential pieces to understand how skills are connected to each other. For example, if we are looking specialists, I don't know, in some language. Let's say you're looking for a specialist in a functional language, and you want to find a Haskell specialist, but you don't have a Haskell specialist at this moment, but you have other very close related functional languages, and potentially these candidates could be good for your opportunity, and so on. Text to skill model. We already show a couple screens how we process skills, and it's a very important essential piece how we can digitize wherever comes from syllabus, resumes, etc., because very important piece of our skills ecosystem that we build system both for human and machines. So it's a machine readable language and good language for human as well. Primary skill and seniority prediction model. It's something that we still in process of building. We happy with the initial results, but we have a big roadmap for this. Basically, an idea that we can predict what kind of potential position in terms of seniority could be good for you, or what kind of a next step in your career could be good for you. Next, detection, matching, and suggestions. Skills after suggestion. It's amazing. Based on one portion information, we provide suggestion to the skills, so people, our colleagues, can see, oh, I know this for sure. I do this for 15 years. For some reason, I don't have this in my resume. So we help to close such gaps in the resume. Find an expert. Big company, tons of experts, global company, and how you can find instantly a specialist who can help you in your particular case. This is why we have a data product, a set of data products that help to find an expert. We use a very interesting combination for semantic search, and we also use initial base and constantly adjust the results. Skills to learn model, skill enrich algorithm, and many other things that help us to suggest in every single practical use case. And we already shown to you that we have a unique ecosystem of tools, and every single tool is connected or will be connected very soon to our ecosystem of skills. And of course, predictive analytics. Because part of the story, it's not just to do cool things in operational mode, but predict what could be potentially interesting for engineers soon. We analyze the tons of information from the demand, from people wishes, what they like, what they don't like, what kind of projects we're working on, and so on. So predictive analytics is a very powerful thing to make our organization truly data-driven. And as a summary, here you see like a quick schema of our ecosystems that we have a skillograph, AI-driven data products, and telescope, and all kinds of connections to our own systems and third parties. So important takeaways. We treat and we recommend to focus on when you deal with the skills, not just a keyword in a tag. It's a complicated object. And skills, it's a new currency, new language, how you can connect all key factors of your business, people, projects, and so on. And I personally, huge believer that next step in any large organization, it's not just a hierarchy of roles, because you can, and potentially you need to reassemble teams instantly. And if you will just follow traditional organizational structures, it will be so slow and not efficient. And of course, data, because it's all starts from the data, the way how we deal with the data quality, not everything done by the machines, but the appropriate combination of human teams and AI-driven data products, this is our way of doing things. And finally, back to you, Dima.
Yeah, thanks. The key takeaway, and we'll move gracefully to the Q&A after this slide, is the following. Humans, hopefully, although there are different ways to code nowadays, but humans are the most valuable element of the success of any business, any craft. Humans are honestly, obviously, container of the knowledge, experience, emotions, sentiments, and skills. We digitalized the essence, therefore the decentralized in a way, always moving, very complex system supports to actually address the complexity of the programs, projects, demands, market, world changes that we run at the speed that is critical for success. But all of this may seem important for the corporations, for enterprises, for groups, but it's actually super, super, super important for people. One, you find a better job by automation of your fit and the myriads of opportunities. No human can know everybody and all of the positions. Machine probably can. B, it's faster way. Google cracked this one a long time ago, right? All the search languages are cracked this one. It's a learning system that connects an expert in a different shape or form of pre-built answer, a real-time chat, just a community to join in, but you get the knowledge missing to step up. And the step up is super important in the current world when we don't know what's gonna be in the next couple of years, but we want to assure that people will have all the opportunities to grow themselves by hard skills, by soft skills, by the complexity, by the coolness, by the impact of the volume. All of this gets down to these tokens, your currency, guys, that is mutable from the side of development, but immutable from the belongings. And this technology helped us to get better. Thank you very much. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, audience. Now the Q&A. Peter?
All right. Thank you very much. We had a lot of questions, but probably we'll have time only for one. So I'm asking for my colleagues to show it up on the screen. And the most upvoted question I'll ask in just... Okay, here we go. Here it goes. So how do you measure the accuracy of skill suggestions? And please try to focus on our time because we have to wrap it up at 25. Thank you.
All right. I'll start and then Nick will follow. First, this is a brilliant question, very deep. The accuracy of two things are being measured. One is the identification. When we do the semantic analysis, the coherence between the rarity of this word in some context, to identify that Java is not the coffee beans or whatever, but it's really the platform in this context. But it's harder than that because sometimes we take a look at the CVs which says I can do React, but I hate it, right? So it means that one can do it, and don't blame the React, that was just a sample, right? But this is something that involves a deep analysis of the common phrases, and this is actually where the world with the open AI and the GPT helps a lot. They have so much pre-trained data sets in the different languages, so it helps. That's one. Second, and Nico, I'll give you a space to help me with this. But second is the validity or the assessment of the level of a skill per person. Because one can say, I know it, right? But then what is the evidence? And we use the concept of multi-event and a trust and a confidence level system across the myriads of facts to compound the, the assessment index, if you will. Plus, again, correlate this with the similar behaviors and the people who then get feedback. And if match, then the confidence is high. If something is blipping, we're just honestly showing to the system that, yes, the text or the object, the connectivity is there, but the trust is low. Nick, Phil, what's missing?
Just wanted, not about the technology. We have a state-of-the-art assessment process in the company, and it helps us to tailor all our models, all our ML models, to make sure that machine provide an answer is correct according to our assessment committee. And we have assessment committee in all key technologies. So as I said before, it's always a combination of the right technology and the standard people processes that we have in place.
It's human in the loop. Peter, are we in time for next?
All right, thank you very much. Well, if you can give a super quick, if you can give a super quick, like a 1 minute answer, then we can do one more. And let's do it. You mentioned using a ready-made NLU could save you a lot of money. Do you have some recommendations for such natural language understanding solutions? And please, just very focused, very quick.
That's it. The bird was the most successful, but please don't start with the technology. Please start with the use case, because it's sometimes a context matters, and sometimes pre-built can solve you parts of the equation. That's our learning. So that's my one-line answer. Think of the use case and try bird.
All right. That was perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nikolai. Thank you, Dmitry. A round of applause to our speakers, please. You might not see them, but they're giving you a round of applause now, as I am. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you.